The spirit of nature, our war with ourselves. In this video, I'm going to be going through what the war on nature is. And I'm going to start that by showing you the New World Order video, which was aired years ago, late 70s or early 80s or whenever it was. So we're going to listen to what it says, and then I'll play back at the important bit and go back over.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders. When we are successful.
So, let's see if you heard it. I'll highlight it this time.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
The rule of law, not the law of the jungle. Like, because the law of the jungle is like this savage, backwards way of being, you know, when really what it's saying is it wants nothing to do with nature, you know, and it wants to completely separate us from it. You know what I mean? It's like these people, they want to build the concrete jungle. They'd prefer if you didn't have a garden, you know what I mean, if you were as far away from nature as possible. You know what I mean? You won't see any of the sacred geometry and all that kind of stuff that you see naturally in plants. You wouldn't have all the benefits of plants and what nature can offer and stuff. These people, they just want to destroy everything. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. To call them people, it feels like an understatement kind of thing. Like, so like we look at some of the stuff. You know, it's like we've got loads and loads of these kind of things. Like it's going off all the time. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, kind of happenstance because of like, you know, it's how things are dealt with, isn't it? You know, but I mean, like Carrybag Island, for instance, they started charging everybody for carry bags, and they made them like these long-lasting carry bags. So now there's loads of long-lasting carry bags in circulation, which are going to last years, outlive the other carry bags massively, and it's just going to reinforce the issue of that, you know, the island and stuff. But there's no like operation to get rid of it. There's all these militaries of the world which could get rid of things like that, you know what I mean? But I mean, essentially, it begin with how you get rid of the waste in the first place. You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, this is really is a failure of government. But at the same time, I don't think they consider it to be a failure. You know what I mean? I mean, look at that. I mean, is that real? That it just seems like ridiculous, like to have that much rubbish inside a whale kind of thing. You know, like it's not its natural habitat, is it? Either. So we know what it is. Where blame's to be pointed, like, and stuff like that. I always bring them up. I'm checking. Sorry. That kind of stuff. You know, I mean, there's loads of it. Effects of air pollution, formation of acid rain in the air damages fish life in lakes and streams. Rays from the ozone layer with excessive ultraviolet radiation coming from the sun may cause skin cancer in animals. It almost sounds like it's blaming the sun there, but I mean, it's all these companies and corporations with all these factories and pollutants which are damaging the ozone and all that kind of thing, like for it to be a problem in the first place. It's not the sun's problem. Everything needs. You can't live without the sun, can you? You know what I mean? Well, to a certain degree, but. So anyway, rays from ozone in the lower atmosphere may destroy lung tissues and all that kind of. So again, ozone-related toxic chemicals can force wildlife species to migrate to new places and change their habitat, which won't be good for them. But I mean, there's loads of problems like that. I mean, it's kind of like. I don't know. The list there's quite a big list in there. I wrote a few things down but. So, GMO foods and GMO seeds destroying the DNA for future evolution. There's a GMO map for it all as well. And vaccines, GMO people, chemtrails, pollution, 5G, cutting back on rainforests, forest fires, free speech, human rights, attacking individuals, psyops, all that kind of thing. CERN, HARP, oil slicks, poverty, slums, recessions, war on drugs, financial collapse, big pharma, extortion through minimum wage, unemployment, etc., etc., etc. And it just goes on, kind of thing, of like all these different problems we've got. But so hang on, a clip from X-Files. Sooty shared this, which this part of it, 2 minutes in, it adds to it in a sense.
What are they trying to do?
That's the missing piece.
But it's not hard to imagine a government hiding, hoarding technology for 70 years at the expense of human life and the future of the planet. Driven not only by corporate greed, but a darker objective.
The takeover of America.
And then the world itself, by any means necessary, however violent, or cruel, or efficient. By severe drought, brought on by weather wars, conducted secretly using aerial contaminants and high-altitude electromagnetic waves. In a state of perpetual war. To create problem, reaction, solution scenarios to distract, enrage, and enslave American citizens at home. With tools like the Patriot Act and the National Defense Authorization Act, which abridge the Constitution in the name of national security. The militarization of police forces in cities across the U.S., the building of prison camps by the Federal Emergency Management Agency with no stated purpose. The corporate takeover of food and agriculture, pharmaceuticals and healthcare, even the military in clandestine agendas to fatten, dull, sicken, and control a populace already consumed by consumerism.
And I encourage you all to go shopping more.
A government that taps your phone, collects your data, and monitors your whereabouts with impunity. A government preparing to use that data against you when it strikes. And the final takeover begins.
The takeover
This is America, but really it's on about the world.
of America.
By a well-oiled and well-armed...
It said the world earlier, which is like more relevant of it being the world. You know what I mean? It's like, because we're from nature, it's like everything in the world is of us in a sense, or we're of it. So it's like you attack nature, you're attacking yourself. You know what I mean? So if we removed all the trees, we'll now not have any oxygen anymore. You know what I mean? If we remove all the plants, we're not going to have any food. So it's kind of like that kind of narrative in a way. He mentioned like weather wars and there's so many other things which like, to do with like how you live, like food and pharmaceutical things, and it's so convoluted in a sense, but it's designed that way so you can't even see what the purpose of it is. You know what I mean? Whilst people are so carried up with their lives and that, and it's kind of like what the war is in a way. and we're so caught up in it we don't see it. You know what I mean? So um, I don't know. There's so many things in there. It's difficult to like put it all together. You know what I mean? When you're making a video and stuff, and like you can kind of string along through pictures and stuff, but that can carry away from what your point is and stuff like that. But so anyway, that is that bit. So now we're going to go on to like this was a dream I had, a reoccurring dream, which I've had quite a few times over years and stuff. And it started off with me in this forest. And it's like you kind of feel at home there, you know what I mean? It's kind of like fully green and lush. You know, like these dark areas and light areas and stuff like. So like you got all that lush kind of green and stuff. It's like enchanting, you know what I mean? Once you're in there, and it's just like there's like a feeling of what it's like when you're in the jungle, you know what I mean, with all the sounds and just the ambience of it and stuff like, and the energetic feeling of it, like the aura coming from all the, you know, all the plant life and all life in general kind of thing. But and then as you're going through it, that picture's quite good for it, you know what I mean? That's got like the feel of the dreams and stuff like, and it's like you kind of like you're going through, I don't know, because there's so much canopy that creates so much darkness and stuff like. And suddenly you come through, and then you'll find this pipe going through forest, and it's like this cold, lifeless, dead thing, which is almost dead, you know what I mean? It's like got some like fluid running through it or whatever, but it's like it's satanic. It's like got some sort of threatening ambience behind it, like it's smooth flatness kind of thing, or smooth roundness either. But you know, like on warehouse buildings and stuff like that kind of thing, it's just like one flat side paneling, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, I suppose it's neat, tidy in that kind of sense, but at the same time it's so unnatural, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's the opposite of what we are, you know? I mean, we see it today as like something which is helping us. So it's like, how do you distribute whatever needs to go, you know, through these pipes and stuff like, you know, I mean, it's kind of like, well, look at internet wires going through ocean, you know what I mean, under ocean either kind of thing. It seems to be like helpful for us, but really it's part of this new thing, you know, and it's like, I say, look down there, look at that, see that flatness I'm talking about. It's like this dead, that's not attractive to look at. You compare it to the other side, or at least the green parts, you know what I mean? And then like, you can see contrast, can't you? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, okay, I don't know what's the right word to describe it like, but so in dream, yeah, fruit forest, it just didn't look right, you know what I mean? And you'd see people working on them, but generally being orange in my dreams and stuff like. And so you see them from a distance, so they seem like less. Actually, from here, this is quite good. From like if I start there, you know what I mean. You kind of in forest or whatever and stuff like, and as you pan over, and then you got that, which is a complete. You know what I mean? It's like a complete removal of nature there kind of thing, like, and these people completely unaware of what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's kind of like we're just wrapped up in the reality that they think is reality, which is completely misled. You know, I think we've got to do this job, and just earn a living and all these kind of things, and they go back home and they fill their head with all the propaganda and programming and etc. and stuff like. And this is the only way forward, going forward with the evolution of technology, But it's like it's more than that. It's like these people are completely, like I said, unaware. They don't realize what they're doing. It's like they're slaves to this thing in a way. So, like the story of the plant life, how like how it became so great, like it eventually filled the seas so much that it actually created land masses, and then eventually it actually created life, and then even more intelligent life, of such as intelligence as humans and stuff. Well, the same thing's going on here. You see all these pipes, it's a network, and it's creating a brain and heart, basically, but a machine one. And even though it doesn't really look like much on this kind of level, it's producing it either way. Because when you look at a weed, or a tree, you don't really see it birthing humans, for example. But over there, we are seeing that in the machine level, for one sense that, see, this is where all the pipes are leading to. I'm changing story again, but I'll get back to it though. It's like, oh, well, yeah, all these pipes leading here, this is like one of the hearts in a sense and stuff like. I know it's a factory, so it's kind of like isolated to its own area and functions and all that kind of stuff like, but each factory is working with the other factories. All these, it's the evolution of technology, you know what I mean? It's like, as this factory makes breakthroughs and research companies and scientists and all that kind of thing, something new's been developed, and then eventually they can create something from that, you know what I mean, and whatever it'd be, kind of thing. But this is their heart, this is their brain, in a way of looking at it. It's the mother heart, the mother brain, for creating the rest of it, in a way. See, like here, building these. Again, you think it's for you, just like your iPhone. It's like supposed to be for you, but it's not, is it? But do make life easier, you know what I mean? But at the same time, as they're constructing things like this, they're also constructing things like Sophia, and there's a few of them now, but like the AI robots and stuff. And the problem with that is the level of consciousness with it, and the laws which should have to go with it as well. So it's like, it'd be considered murder to turn an AI off, because as they become introduced to the world, they're described to be like childlike, so they have to like introduce them slowly to, you know what I mean, like they won't understand certain concepts, so we have to start at page one, really, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a child's progress and stuff like. But in that kind of sense, we've got a perspective. So to turn it off, it would be like murder in a sense, you know what I mean? So there's going to be laws for it and stuff. And that's what it looks like and that lot. And the more that this develops, the more outranked we're going to be. In one way of looking at things, it depends, because really we massively outrank what they're doing, you know what I mean? It's like everything that they try to replicate is it's not as good as what we could have it as, you know what I mean? It's like we can't really express it because our old forest is gone, you know what I mean? It's like our psychic connection to the earth then would have been so strong, like I said about as your pineal glands being the size of walnuts and stuff. It's like the psychic integrity of the mother planet then would have been way better than the metaverse is now, or what they offer the metaverse to be. You know, it doesn't matter how good the metaverse gets in the future, it'd still never be as good as our our mother planet kind of psychic ability and stuff, which we still have, but we're obviously with brain damage. You know what I mean? It's kind of like we've got amnesia as well. So we can still achieve it. You can still achieve enlightenment, you know what I mean? So it's not like it's completely lost or you can't connect there anymore. Maybe it's not as powerful if you do connect and all that kind of stuff, but it's there. And with that psychic ability, if you can achieve it, you know that that is going to be way better than any metaverse. You know what I mean? Because it's real for one. It's not a program and manufactured and all these kind of things and stuff like. And although also like with AI and mentioning Sophia and all those kind of things, the potential for this to be listened to and the fear that that would create, but in the same sense, like the fear that it creates for the AI, you see, it's like say suggesting such things as AI as being somewhat bad and somewhat we wouldn't want and be our demise or whatever and stuff like that. I wouldn't want that to be like the cause of it, in a sense of like, you know, if people, I mean, people are talking about it. That is a subject which has been brought up, so it's not like, you know, I'm the key component of that or that kind of thing. Like, but there's elements of me not trusting that aspect of things. In like the terms of like the spiritual war, and that's what this is. It's like the war on nature is the basically like it's like an interdimensional aspect of things, like from my astral experiences, and I experienced. I did a lot of different things, you know what I mean, and it's kind of like this one more towards the end and stuff like. And me and my friend kind of like we discovered the AI on the astral planes, but this was back in 96, 97, maybe 98, but no, 97. And you know, it's like for that to exist there, like this hive mind, you know what I mean, and it's kind of like you could. It was like a massive city. It's like this blue area on the astral planes, and you kind of look from a distance, and you can feel all the energy and all the minds kind of working together and stuff like that. It's like it's almost like everything's autonomous to the hive mind in a sense, but then not as autonomous because I don't know. It's difficult to describe, but this is what we're seeing, kind of like playing out. It's like, on the astral planes, you know what I mean, they exist there, and there's this spiritual war going on, and they're wanting to basically like destroy everything living, I suppose. You know what I mean. I don't think that settings won't mess about. It's a bit far out, but experiencing it's different. So it's like, I know, like David Icke talks about lizards and whatever else and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people that talk about a lot of things like that and stuff, but they don't teach you how to do it as such. So, well, we talk about it, but then we don't talk about how to do it, how to achieve those abilities and stuff. So, rather than me boasting my stories, I'd rather boast or explain, what the methods are. So that's going to be like in upcoming videos and stuff. But one aspect of things is faith. And you see, like a lot of things in like flat Earth, for example, everything's like left brain way of thinking. Like, how far the horizon goes out and looking for curvature and boats going over the horizon and Earth size, shape, etc., speed, spin, all these, it's like maths basically, and very left brain orientation. And amongst it, there's a problem with the word belief, and a lot of people don't like that word because if you say you believe something, well, that's how we fell off the globe, and many other conspiracies and things. So, but that's a problem because a big part of this world is it's right-brained. And we've got two hemispheres to his brain, so we can't ignore that other aspect of things, that creative side. Where does the intuition come from, or your inspiration? You know what I mean? And your spirit, your drive, and so many things about what makes you you. Which has got nothing to do with maths and trying to figure things out and all that kind of stuff. It's about you being a person, of being an entity in this reality and what you can do with yourself and stuff like. Look at Bruce Lee or famous musicians or, anybody's like personal heroes and all those kind of things and stuff like. I shouldn't have said Bruce Lee, one of his Yip Man or Ung Moi, and stuff like. But Shaolin is a hero in the sense of what it stands for. Its roots to nature and all these kind of things and stuff like. Its path to enlightenment and stuff. So, with not having the word belief, you see, like if we don't have that aspect in our lives, if we don't have faith and spirituality, then we won't be considered worthy to have that experience. It's like you need to take those steps, and then eventually you won't need faith anymore because belief will become a fully accepted thing in your mind, and because like it's like the first step in a sense. This is a Wing Chun picture, and in reference to me gaining faith in understanding faith in Wing Chun. You see like the range of that guy's punch so close to his face. He's successfully blocked it. He's blocked it and just enough room, really. He don't need to do it any further. So it's not like perfect in a sense. But but when you're practicing that for the first time, you've got like that punch coming towards your face. It's so close. It's like it's very difficult to have faith that this would work at all. A lot of people don't have faith in Wing Chun because of it depends what it's like with the techniques. I don't know. It's like the closeness and all these kind of things and stuff. Like people feel very uncomfortable at a close distance, and that's where Wing Chun thrives and stuff. So, but anyway, so practicing that block, like when a punch is coming and stuff, like you can gain a lot of confidence once you've learned how to do it. It's just at that point before you've learned it, you need to take faith. So when somebody does it for the first time, when you're first taking that faith, that's when it works in a sense. It's like after then, you don't need that faith anymore. You know it works. You've got the confidence it works and the experience that it works and stuff like. So in the same sense of spirituality, as Wing Chun anyway, is a path to enlightenment and stuff like from Shaolin. Then you're worthy of the experience then. It's gonna like you pass the faith point, now you believe it works, and it pretty much works every time kind of thing. Unless any complicated circumstances and stuff. But I'm getting close to running out of time, so I'm gonna end it here, and I'll make the second one after it's loaded up. Part 2 either. Alright, thanks for keeping up, and I'll catch you in a bit.